#1 रहना एक जरूरत है। वे अपना सब कुछ दांव पर लगाने को तैयार है। Action.
Starting off day number 4 in week 3. One more day remains. I'm going to be your host and analyst and caster plotter, and of course the same. Hello, how are you doing today, and what is your expectation from these teams? I mean, Kuresh, they've been doing really phenomenal. Can we expect for play from them today as well, do you think?
I think they'll day number 1 also they got 2 big wins for themselves. Day number 3 also they got 2 big wins for themselves. At least they're getting 1 big win this time also.
As we move ahead, this is week 3 that we are a part of. There was a 1-day delay which does 25th September, but on day 4 of week 3 tomorrow on Monday we are going to be playing the final 3, and that in turn will also let us for week 3 at least that will participate on that extra bonus map. After that, we're talking about it from 30th September to the 2nd October. We do have the grand finale taking place.
Certainly in the grand going to be 100,000 US dollars, out of which is going to the first place, that is $10,000. Second will get $6,500, and third will get $4,500. Even the 16th place team is going to get at least 1,000 US dollars, but the tournament MVP has a $1,000 US, but every single 2,500 US dollars as well.
Absolutely, per team, of course, and as we perfectly do know that there are big things that are at stake for these teams, but to be able to capitalize on those opportunities, they need to be able to walk away with those points, and the point structure again remaining the same, at least for now, where indeed the one elimination will walk away with 1 point for yourself. Of course, you get that chicken dinner, you walk away with you get, which majority of the teams in week 3 are doing. And in fact, when we talk about that also, it is being exchanged. Were performing and underperforming. Now it's equalized a little bit compared to week 1.
There are bonus points as well per week. Every single week the team will get 20 points, and it keeps on reducing by 1 point per place and reduces to 1 point at the 20th team. But league bonus is also there. Points are awarded for the total bonus are going to be accumulated. That means weekly bonus points plus league bonus points will become the total points, and these points are going to help you in the start of the finale.
Absolutely, and for now, again, before we talk about the grand finals, as we did mention, only 16 teams are participating right now. On the second last day of week 3, we have all 20 teams that are being divided in these individual groups. And to start the day off, we're only going to be looking at the first 4 groups, where group A, B, C, and D are going to be the ones who will be playing the game, and group E, at least for the first match of the day, they are going to be sitting out from this one. And in that, of course, the 4 groups that are going to be playing, we do have a lot of competition that is taking place. Underperforming teams like big names, I8 not doing too well. We do have Regicide bringing in some perfect synergistic, but all in all that will become that much more when we talk about week 3's overall ranking is sitting all the way up on top with 2 chicken dinners.
Certainly note by getting 2 big wins for themselves, that is helping case in terms Yesterday, they took a jump of 1 point and now sitting on the second spot with 134 points. But it was Triple Esports that took a big leap of 3 points, 3 position points, and now are sitting on the sixth spot with 109 points. But on the other side, North Esports and 52 Esports, they faced a certain downfall, and North they are sitting on the 10th spot and 52 on the 8th spot.
Absolutely. Triple Esports, as you were become that much more clear in the league standing itself, but right now looking at the second page itself, as we were talking about it, big names like I8 Esports sitting on the 19th position, Team Bablu on the 15th. So not the kind of expectation that we had. Talking about a change in storyline, well, that definitely has been showcased from the underperforming teams now bringing themselves and
Performing, and the performing teams are now underperforming. Like you also
exactly.
mentioned, the team I8, well, day number 3, in fact the week number 3, entire week number 3 is not working for them, but in the overall to save, because they're
Yes.
definitely moving into the finals and no second thought on that, so they don't have to worry a lot about it for now because they are qualifying. And certainly when the last day might come, maybe they will go all YOLO because they have nothing to lose. Even at this spot, they have nothing to lose. They can afford to go for the aggressive stance without thinking, go for the aggressive push towards the side of any team. But unfortunately, that is not working for them. In fact, nothing is working for them right now.
Exactly, and that is something that hopefully will change in the grand finals. But as you perfectly mentioned, when it comes down to the team and their position in the league board itself, and the overall 3 weeks compared, the games that they have played and of course participated in, they have done wonders for themselves. So they are pretty much confirmed, sitting on the second position of seems like we might not be looking at the players of IH, but that's okay. That is absolutely fine. We've spoken about it time and time again. Maybe they're under mental pressure. Maybe they're trying different that they will be participating and in the grand finals itself. But alongside all of that, right now, of course, the conversation from that changes towards the teams that are performing, teams that have from week 1 comparatively to week 3 picked up that pace really perfectly for themselves. And in that, of course, Quraish Esports definitely becomes one of those big names to talk about because of the consistent play that they have been able to make. At the same point, I do want to bring up, Regicide, another team that we have been looking at over aggression from their side, which of course is also being converting into points for themselves.
But certainly, Reggie's side is certainly doing very good when it comes to the map of Miramar, because the 2 win in week number 3, both the win are in the map of Miramar from the side of Reggie. That has been performing really well. Is going to be sides every single time. Yesterday that H2E was dishing out a hell lot of as well. Even in the map of Iran, they accumulated 12 placement points, although his teammates were taken down pretty early inside the game. So that means Team H, they are working in their favor, and maybe this team can be tender for the top spot or top 5 spot in the finals.
Indeed, I mean, we've spoken about it during the games as well, that when it comes to Team H2E and their rotation, especially so pristine final zones and final circles, and then participate in those fights where again those fights that they participated in become so very critical for them, as they are able to walk away with decent placement points and enough amount of elimination points, as you perfectly mentioned. So yes, for H2E, as we can see, there has been a jump and a little bit of a shift in terms of how week 2 compared to week 3 is looking like. And of course, in all of that, the best part is that they have upped their aggression, they have upped, of course, the elimination points, but in all they've become that much more consistent, they've become that much more reliable because the survival time has gone down from them. So that means that they are able to dish out more damage in less amount of time survived on the map, which again is a perfect thing for Team H2E to bring up. And of course, a few of those highlights are going to be right here on our screens, where H2E were able to dominate. And inside of our screens, we will see that H2E, the team, they are so perfect and apt because they convert those points when needed. When they are pushed, they are we can clearly see right here on Eranga as well.
In Senok also, when it comes to individual players of team H2E, week number 1, it was only about J guy who was outshining in the entire team, but in the end of week 3 we are seeing Assad stepping up, Tarzan is also stepping up, so it's the entire H2E that has amped up their aggression. It's not only Jedin, the way this team has improved and the way they are climbing the stairs in the terms of the rank and the accumulating points. Team H2E is looking very strong, and it is Dread also, the new player from the side of H2E. Yesterday the way he was picking a few fights, it dishing out a lot of damage and getting those defeat points.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to, being so very perfect in their rotation, and then being very cautious about the fights that they want to be able to pick, and then converting those synergistically into their favor, which of course is going to be helping them right now, because this is week 3. This is the final week before we jump in the grand finals, and of course only top 16 teams. So a lot on the line and a lot on the stake for these teams, and that for which they are working perfectly. The storyline, it is definitely looking good in their favor. But of course, along with that, Regicide also is another team that has amazingly showcased unexpected, in fact, from their side. But we knew that they have the capability and possibility because of the players and the names that are part of Regicide, and that can be clearly visible right here between the week strat that have almost doubled. I mean, they've doubled their damage dealt, number of eliminations acquired, at the same point of time the knocks. So all in all, climb in this PMPL for Pakistan 2022.
Even the survival time also, the compared to week number 2, they are surviving more in the game. That means they are accumulating not just the defeat points, the placement points as well, unlike other teams sitting on the bottom having only elimination points in their force. So Regicide, they have found a perfect balance between the placement and the position points in every single game. The way they are picking fights, especially in Miramar, both the wins are in the map of Miramar, one at the end of day number 2, other one yesterday also. And not just with the passive gameplay, Regicide always gets a win with good amount.
True. That is so true. Again, you talk about yesterday's plays itself. I mean, the way they finished the day with, of course, that themselves on Miramar, and of course, before that, we had another Miramar where they finished second. So Regicide, yes, they are in week number 3, definitely on the rise, on the climb. Yesterday or day before yesterday also on the Miramar map, we saw them bring in flawless plays and aggressive stance, and again the synergy is so very critical, which for Regicide somehow it has been improving, and of course we know how, because they've been working at it. They started from week 1, they were a little underperforming, they saw what the lobby was doing and just quickly paced themselves to understand what the lobby was doing, and then how can they tackle that, which they have chosen the aggressive, and that of course is the Pakistani lobby.
Certainly, and the way they move inside the circle, the way they hold a position inside the circle, it's always on point. The IGL zones and predicting where the next circle might form in, and the way they grounds, because we remember in the took the control from the hands of Bablu for that position, and the way to the advantage team after team. The minute they eliminated Bablu, well, they were not stopping for anyone. This is what Regicide is all about. The minute they realize they have the best position in the circle, they start dominating the lobby.
Absolutely, and that works out flawlessly for them, because in week 3, where it mattered the most, they have accumulated a lot of points. And again, this is the second last day of the week, so they still have opportunity, mistaken, in total from today and tomorrow combined. That in 8 games again is a huge opportunity that teams can of course bring, not only in week 3 but also in the overall league standing itself, compared all the way from week 1, all the games played, into the end of week 3 itself, which Regicide is definitely looking like they are in control of, and they are showcasing that they have the prowess to be able to actually utilize that beautifully. Now, call it whatever you might, right? Because you mentioned it perfectly as well, that the teams that were performing in week 1, well, again, they have gone down. They have gone down so they've in fact gone down or not, they've given an opportunity to the other teams, is how I like to phrase it.
Certainly, they have given an opportunity. Comes the fact that I8 sitting on the second spot, Magnus. This is the opportunity. They are in a safe spot. Same can be said for Quantum Rage and Quish Esports. All the top 5 teams, their position, no matter what, they are qualifying for the finals with less number of. This is the moment when they can experiment things and try something new and different strat. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't work, but at least they will have a chance where they don't have anything to lose, because anyhow they are moving into the finals.
Exactly. As we move towards the second page, let's see. So again, we know that only top 16 teams are going to be participating in the grand finals, and the difference right there is not that much. For Triple Esports. Again, talking about Triple Esports also in the same breath, right? They are the ones who've also, just like Regicide, showcased a different approach from them, which has in turn brought them chicken dinner and on the map of Erangel with 8 elimination points that they got on day 2. All in all, along with that, the best part is that they're getting closer and closer to perhaps even take down Mirashot X Sky, who are sitting on the 16th position right there with 304 points. So yep, things are definitely on the move in week 3, but now the days are are outnumbered basically, right? We've only got these 2 days left. Rather, these teams have only these 2 days left to the 20th position. With that, let's move on ahead, get the day started off, as yesterday was a perfect turn of events for these teams. Let's see how today will turn out as we look at the schedule, because today is going to be a day of Erangel. And to start the day off, of course, as we mentioned earlier, group A, B, C and D are the ones who will be participating. And of course, on Erangel, we have seen a few teams, especially in week 3, over progress in terms of how they've been able to back to back get those chicken dinners.
Well, certainly. Now, this is, as you mentioned, this is the day of Erangel. We have 3 Erangels in our hands. So, every single team that have weak point in the Erangel, this is an opportunity to try something new. Obviously, the
True.
teams are sitting on the top of the overall ranking, not the bottom teams. So, they can do something, especially I8 also. Even if they want to try some other drop location, this is the moment when they can do so, which are not doing. Maybe they want to stick to the known area, known terrain in the final and not risk anything. That is also a mature decision, but something they need to do. So now is the time for the prediction also, Lakshay. So which team you think is going to get the win?
For Erangel, for the first game, I am going to go with Quraysh Esports. I want to be able to see if they can recreate the kind of prowess that they've been able to showcase on the map of Erangel itself. So that's going to be my pick, Quraysh Esports, QE.
Interesting, because yesterday also both the wins of Quraysh Esports were in map of Erangel, so definitely they have high probability. But I want to see Quantum Rage. Yes, they are playing Quantum Rage, are playing this one, so I want to see Quantum Rage to get this win, because their drop location is Yasnia. Rotations are not so difficult when it comes to Yasnia. You can easily rotate, and resources are also you get ample amount of resources also.
Absolutely, but from Quantum Rage, in fact, week 1, week 2 performance I absolutely loved from Quantum Rage. I was slowly but surely converting into looking forward to, in fact, as to what they're going to be doing. But week 3, they've changed their play as well. Now they're working towards a little bit of a later rotation that I've noticed from them. They do always go to Yasnaya, and based on where the zone is, at times we've seen that they are in a very good contestation of the zone, yet they end up faltering down. I'm not sure how can an aggressive team falter down, but again, I mean, we've seen I8 do the exact same thing in week 3. So week 3 is definitely a week that is of unpredictability, and that's exactly what we're looking at.
Well, certainly, the battle royale itself is so unpredictable. So many other factors also come into the picture, like the circle, your placement inside the circle. If it is ball that circle is swing, because yesterday also we saw in one of the games so many curveballs in the map of Erangel were coming in.
Exactly.
That kind of kept the teams on their toes, because they didn't know where the next circle is going to form. Every single time, the minute they realized that yes, now we are in a safe spot, we have a residency over this position, the circle would take a curveball and zoom. You have to go for a very long rotation, and it's never easy when all the 16 teams are in the lobby.
Absolutely, and you perfectly mentioned that, because again, when you talk about the way the zone has slowly but surely, from 1 week to second week to third week, actually transformed the MVP definitely of week 3, because the amount of ludicrous plays that the zone ends up making and the rotation that the teams are then forced to make, so many of them just get caught off guard just like that, based on how the zone has shifted, and nobody could have predicted or anticipated for the zone to be playing such games. But like you said, the battleground is definitely unpredictable. But this time around, let's see which side is going to be favored. Is it going to be the northern side? Is it going to be the southern players that we know are going to be, of course, the players of I8 and other teams that love to go towards the south? But where is the zone? Because no matter where the initial zone is, in the end, after that third, fourth zone, once it starts moving, that's when the teams are in a lot of chaos. And yeah, just fingers crossed. Just fingers crossed. Not entirely sure what to anticipate, but definitely looking forward to once again an aggressive start, an aggressive day from these teams.
Certainly, aggression is what we want to see, and Pakistan region never fails to provide us the aggression. Yes, in week number 3, they have taken a slow approach because they understand the gravity of the situation right now. Because every single point is going to matter. They are preparing themselves for the finals. Week number 1, they were just
Right.
testing the waters, playing their natural gameplay, going all aggressive, going for a very early brawl. But now they are preparing themselves for the finals, and few of the teams at the bottom, they are trying to propel themselves. They need every single point, so they are also being a little cautious. So that is why we are witnessing more strategic gameplay from the side of Pakistan region this time in week 3 as compared to week 1.
Indeed, that is so true. That is definitely one of the best things that has happened, because we talk about how we want it to be a little dynamic. We want the teams to actually be dynamic as well, because you want to be able to change your game mid game as well at times, so that you don't get the drop location perhaps does not get overturned from you. And that is something that the teams have definitely showcased, but surely changing their own gameplay mid games as well as during midday itself, as we do have the first match of the day on our screens. Wrangle, where flight path is going to be starting all the way from the military base and majorly favoring towards the western side, where once again now on the military base, we know I8 always love to drop themselves out there. For meter shot, there is a chance that they could also perhaps choose the same exact drop. Yes, they definitely will, as they love to go towards Novo Rapnoy. Now, but for these teams, it is going to be working out perfectly, but we'll have to see where the zone is going to be, whether the zone is going to be favoring them. On the other front, as we do have the grounders making their way towards Primorsk, again a known drop location for the grounders as well. But in all, I would love to see, I would definitely love to see what teams are going to be the ones that will perhaps get into a first blood situation, will perhaps end up getting into those drop contestations, because we have seen that take place as well in week 3.
Certainly, early brawls, early drop contestation, or early fights, we always love to see when the players are pretty much handicapped. They are short on the resources. They don't have enough weaponry or maybe the armor required for a close combat. But right now, the circle playing its own game. We have a flight path favoring the west side, and we have a circle completely on the northeastern side where Sivorni, Stelber, Yasna, Rozak are already there. So that means I8, Meteor Short Sky, they have to go for a very early rotation. And this is a moment when I8 are like, when you are in the lobby, the circle goes north. When you are sitting out, the circle goes towards southern side. Because yesterday when I8 Meteor Shot, the entire group was sitting out,
True.
we did witness a southern circle. The final circle was also on the southern military base island.
Absolutely, and that is the game that I was talking about for Quantum Rage, where they made the rotation from Yasnaya towards Prison, Milta Power, and then tried to make their way into Novo, but sadly were then dropped off and were not able to even accumulate decent elimination points for themselves. But again, today is a brand new day, and we hope that all the teams are able to participate in some good contestations for themselves. But right now, talking about those contestations itself, we are going to be looking forward to where and what team is that going to be. 3x once again known for their split drop. That is what they love to do, and that is exactly what we see them doing. So no change there from 3x. But again, why change any of that strategy, because it is working for the side of 3x. On the other front, towards the northern side, we have Team Star. Now Team Star this time around have only dropped in the zone is favoring them. If they go towards Talbot and those hills, mountains right towards Talbot itself, they will definitely be in a very good position. But even right now itself, there is no team around in the vicinity for them to be troubled about at all. But all the other teams, well, they are going to have to make their way into the zone, and of course be ready for the fight, as we have Magnus been okay in terms of their best of the performance, but the consistency from Magnus has definitely been showcased from them, as they uh, do not run away from fights. Even if they're getting eliminated early, they are able to eliminate decent number of players and get those decent number of elimination points from every single game.
Certainly, magnets are also in a very safe spot, just like I8. So magnets can also afford to experiment few of the things. Maybe that could be the reason for less number of defeat points or low placement points in the favor of Magnus Esports. Because we did witness yesterday also in the map of Miramar, when Magnus was having the entire control of the western, even in the Wrangle map where the southern circle was there, Magnus was having the complete western control, and suddenly the control was taken away from them. Close combat fights, Magnus losing out on them is something we didn't witness in week number one, and certainly not in week number two. But this time, Magnus are losing on those fights. So let's see. Maybe they're trying to do something new. But right now, they are in the circle. They are in the poaching key. That means they don't need to rotate. They don't need to go for the early rotation. But the meta we have been seeing from this region in the week number three is hold on to the center as soon as possible. So maybe Magnus will head for an early rotation, and Koresh Esports looks like they are already doing so.
Try and get for the late. We saw them in the overall league standing itself. They're sitting on the 7th, toppling over meter shot conversion. Because for meter shot also, there's been some
So week one, week three was definitely not in their favor. 2 points on week three up because the sword is still hanging. They are in the, they need those points. The crucial
players of course meter shot that we saw. So yeah, a very tricky this week 3 has turned out to be for these teams as to how exactly should they tackle it. What I loved from Bablu, in fact, was that the over aggressive approach that they had, just like Regicide, was working flawlessly for them, and that in turn should hopefully continue for Bablu. If they keep on bringing down as well, the over aggressiveness that they have, like right now they're trying to make that early rotation, which is a perfect thing. But of course, Team Star's final player, not final player, my apologies, one player is right around in the vicinity, and now of course they, and just like that, they definitely are going to be trying to push on ahead from all different directions and take him down. But at the same point in time, we did see that when Team Bablu were making this rotation from the hill, there was another team that they got very, very close to. What if that team now decides to have a third-party approach in this fight? At the same time, it is 3x who taken on shots against TUF as well.
certainly 3x Esports are engaging with TUF. But talking about the players of Team Star, that was an unwarranted rotation from the players. Same thing, because I rotation they left the safety of Siberni area. Later on, the final circle was in Siberni, and it became so difficult for Star to enter even into the Siberni area, and they kind of lost on their players. But
True.
right now, it is 3x Esports. They are getting few good points. The position is also in the circle quite good, as the circle takes a northern shift.
Oh, well, what a perfect zone. But again, we got to keep in mind that this is just too early. The zone is being very subtle about its changes, but as the game progresses into the next zone, the one later on is where the actual chaos is going to ensue. But never mind the chaos, because on our screens we've been hearing all the chaos, we've been listening at all the chaos, because the teams have already started taking down players. Now in all of this, we can see that the late rotation that was anticipated from I8 and Magnus is exactly what is taking place right now from the south. And now what they need to do is quickly utilize this opportunity to get into the zone from the south itself. Now if they overthink this approach and go from the Yasnaya region, I8 or Meteor,
maybe they will be looking forward to hold the uphill areas of the shooting range, because that is completely unoccupied on the western front. So Grounders might contest that position and can ruin things for the teams that are going for a late rotation from the side of west. But right now, H2E, well, they are well spread out across that hill area. And Reaper, this is not the compound he was hoping to hold on to, because right now H2E can spot him down any minute, or maybe H2E, they already have an idea there is a player in the compound, and Reaper 1v4 fight might be a little too much for him to deal with. But yes, Reaper from the side of TMW in week number 1 also, we did see this guy has showcased some K and H2 is making sure that he doesn't do so. Knock comes in, and a confirmation also, that means TMW, they lost one of the player in the very early game.
perfect utilization of the opportunity. And again, so many fights that we have already seen, and the fights just do not want to stop. The players know exactly what is on the line and what is on the stake, and for that they are willing to take these early fights, and that in turn is of course losing out on a few of their team members. For example, TMW, that we just saw losing out on their teammate Reaper, but now they do not want to back down from that fight. We saw that on the other front we have Magnus Esports trying to. Now I8 have jumped into the area, and of course they are going to be bringing in that in a nade is going to be damaging Zen's position all the way down to almost a sliver of HP. He should definitely be heard, and the spray should be coming in from the players of I8 any minute now, where indeed Magnus Esports' players should be taken and exit from this fight. They should try and not overextend this area, because they are out in the open, and that in turn can become very, very deadly for them, because right around the vicinity is going to be Quraish Esports as well, who I'm sure are going to be listening to all this commotion that these two teams are making right across Yasnaya.
Well, certainly, Corey, the minute they smell blood, they hunt the players and they try to get few defeat points in their favor. So this is not the position, and that's what Magnus also realized. So they have backed off from this fight. But on the other side, the team that is overextending this fight is going to be I8. The split is coming from their side, as two of the players are still hunting for Magnus Esports. Now a smart decision is coming from their side to regroup with their players, because the split from the side of I8 has never worked. But on the other side, Quantum Ray, somewhere on the eastern side, shooting down the players of Triple Esports, well, they did pep a few bullets, but not significant damage has been dished out. So Quantum Rays, they also need to start making their move, as a circle also takes a western shift, favoring the players of 52 rounders. Even a Reggie side also, but TOF also, they have a good position inside the circle. So that means they can keep themselves away from all those fights or the brawls happening in the circle, because look at the position completely on the southern side where no team is present as of now.
Exactly, and that is where somewhere I believe and think that TUF can very well take this game in their favor. They should be able to, but again, the numbers advantage have definitely gone down for them, as we of course saw in the elimination that they were in a fight earlier on. against 3x. But right now, as we move on towards another team that we were talking about rotating, is going to be the Grounders, who are getting close and close to TUF's position. But going back to what's on our screens, it's going to be Team Bablu, who are still out on the open, who's still trying to. They're still undefined as to where exactly, how exactly do they want to be able to position them. The northern side of the zone, which is working out flawlessly, but they make in a shooting range, for which they can very well, as well as an opportunity to take on those long range shots. But thankfully, R3D have decided to not overextend themselves in this fight, but they know that one of their opponent team is going to be right across that shooting range region. But alongside all of that, the is going to be constricting party approach in this fight, and now Magnus falls back itself right now. They know that there is an opponent up top of that hill. Of course, be able to bring in those nade parades against them. But let's see how this fight turns out to be. For now, it seems like Mirashot X guy is going to be moving away, which is definitely a good decision.
Well, talking about I8 again, they are so scattered. Uzm is trying to regroup with his teammate, and Ghost taking the damage of the blue, and Quantum Rays still on the periphery. They are looking for defeat point. They've already going to retaliate as Triple Force is also in the close block on save. quickly with all sports and playing. This is the moment when the other player of triple esports need to is already ready. Who takes a hefty damage surviving on a HP.
Well, while this fight is going on, we saw a little bit of a sneak peek of the zone making a curveball shift itself, and that in turn has resulted in 52 esports for now looking very comfortable. But same is the case for Bablu, who made that northern rotation. But I8, that was a little too close of a contestation right there. I8 need to make a move. They are towards the right hand side of the map itself, of the zone itself, and now I8 they just completely lose him, fell into the hands of the players of Quantum Rage, and that in turn has resulted in I8 and Quantum Rage both losing out on players.
Certainly, they are losing the players and they don't want it when all the 16 teams are still in the lobby. Elimination at this point might mean 0 placement points, but right now, I8 looking for a revival is back on his feet, but he needs to batch up really fast. And H2E, the team that is running high confidence, and I8, they have made their presence felt to not just one team, so many teams, and when you are attracting so much attention, that might not work in your favor. As I can see, Quarish Esports is also in the close proximity. Two of the players of Quarish are already inside the circle. That means I8 3 defeat points, but they need those placement points. They need few good games in their hands as they're trying to go from the little northern side where Quarish Esports might be there. But right now, Meteor Short Sky having a little bit of the elevation, trying to shoot in the direction of 3x Esports.
Absolutely, Meteor Shot. They have definitely placed themselves at a decent position. Same perhaps can be said for the side of H2A as well. But they're all out in the open. So this is where the troubling fact actually comes in, that these teams that are taking on these fights, they are sadly stuck in a late rotation phase. But with that, the I8 rotation that was made, it seems like they have definitely made their presence felt against the players of Quraysh, where Quraysh Sardarji has gone down. But right now on our screens, it's going to be Team H2E's Jaydi taking on those sprays and shots against the player of Magnus Esports. With Magnus Esports' player, a lot of damage was dealt, but towards the top right hand side, if we notice, there are so many colors, so many teams that can bring in a third party against H2E, and that is exactly what is right now, where they thought they were in control of the fight against Magnus, but I8 jumping along, and Uzum is the one who will bring in a knock and perhaps even get the finish point for himself as Team H2E get eliminated on the 15th spot.
Well, that was very unfortunate, but I8, they are looking for redemption. They are looking for few good games and 7 defeat points, all the 4 plus inside the lobby. That means this can be the game of I8 Esports. But right now, Magnus and Roland has been knocked out. Smokes are being deployed to give the rescue to the fallen comrade and finisher, providing the perfect cover fire from the back lines. But Magnus, they need to be a bit careful because on one side they have R3D, on other side I8 is also chiming in. So this is not the position they want to hold on. They have to pick the fight very carefully. But Halsey finds a confirmation on the Sensi of Groundus, but Evil Boy is going to retaliate and finds not just 1-2 knock onto Meteor Shot Khatir as well as Halsey. On the other side, Evil Boy, well, looking for the confirmation, but can he find the confirmation? That's the main question. I think he can, and he's perfectly doing so. Meteor Shot Sky, well, they're crumbling down one after another, and Ash is the last man standing as Groundus get 3 defeat points for themselves, all courtesy to Evil Boy.
Absolutely. Now again, these teams, Meteor Shot, we saw I8, we saw Port making those rotations, but sadly it was Meteor Shot, who were right now caught in a lot of trouble of their own now. On the right, we can see there are so many teams. Team Star with the one-man army, TUF with the one-man squad. Same is the case for Meteor Shot as well. On our screens, they are, of course, now left with just a one-man army. Now, for I8, the momentum that we were talking about that was missing from them, that seems to be revived. That seems to definitely be in control because they've been able to get 10 elimination points for themselves. And the Grounders, they're just making waves in terms of the amount of damage that they're dishing out. But they're only a two-man army, which is Evil Boy and Siu. For now, when it comes down to their positioning, they also need to be able to, of course, get this elimination point and run back along because the zone is 70 meters away from them as well. And it is going to be out in the open where the other teams are definitely waiting for TG, the Grounders as well.
Well, it's like a deja vu moment for now because 52 esports again find themselves in the safety of the circle, right in the epicenter. Regicide having a complete western control as well. Two of the players still need to make those rotation and move inside the safety of the circle. But right now, Hawk is the guy of R3D creating a hell lot of trouble for I8 as Blade has been taken down, and Hawk being relentless with those grenades, looking for the confirmation onto Blade. But Blade need to heal up really fast as the blue is also catching up, and let's see if his teammate can help him up. But somewhere else, also gets taken down. TMW 666 taking the brunt of the blue, and Siu just when he stepped inside the circle, TMW was waiting for them and puts an end to Siu over that. That means Evil Boy is the last man standing from the side of Team Grounders.
Absolutely, but on our screens, TMW, they are definitely making their approach perfectly well, but all this while, they have not been able to sadly accumulate points for themselves. They've not been able to accumulate elimination points for themselves. And thankfully, on the other front, as we did just see I8, they were a little bit in of a lackluster position. Now they seem to have gotten those heals done, and now they are ready for another fight. As we are left with R3D on our screens, Destroyer, the final player remaining with 0 defeat points to his name as well, and he can definitely hear the buggies of course, Kureshi Sports also getting closer and closer to his position, where Kureshi Sports' player has also been knocked and damaged thanks to that need.
Certainly, and JD is right now looking for the confirmation, but he's lobbing all those grenades in a very wrong direction. Quresh Esports still being the silent, and Destroyer can be that ugly pawn who can gatekeep the players of Quresh Esports. But right now, Hasni, his attention is towards the players of I8, and the way it is dominating the lobby right now. 10 defeat points already in their favor, but every single time the circle is going away from them, away from their hands. And Jojo of a 52 esports finds an knock onto Uzm, but thankfully his teammates are in the close proximity, so that means a revival is still possible. But Team Bablu also has their attention towards I8 and Pan with a TP looking for a knock. And it's not just two teams, at the third team also, TMW 666 also trying to get knocks onto I8 with those grenades.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a chaotic final fights that we are looking at right now between these 10 teams, because of all from the far away we saw Bablu taking on shots and sprays against I8 and were able to bring in a little bit of a damage. At the same time, TMW's M7 is also the one who is bringing in a lot of nade parade, but it seems like his team now gets eliminated. That's going to be TMW getting eliminated on the 10th finish, 10th position with 0 elimination points to them, and that's all thanks to 52 esports. As was mentioned by you earlier, 52 esports, they're looking in a very good position as well as I8. The momentum is definitely looking in their favor. They've got all 4 players, but Hasni all by his lonesome. How much damage can he bring in right here? He's already been able to bring down, I believe, one of the players, 2 of the players in fact, and along with that, a third party approach could have very well I8 getting eliminated, and that's exactly what happens. Kuroshi Sports sadly only gets 1 elimination point from that, because it is Bablu who are able to bring himself, the Byan especially, who's able to bring in his prey and connect those shots against I8's position, and thus walked away with, of course, those elimination points stolen away. But for now, again, 3 teams remain with only a one-man squad. 2 teams looking very comfortable. One of them, of course, 52 esports on our screens. Second one going to be Regicide.
Well, it's looking like history is repeating. Yesterday also, Regicide 52, Bablu were inside the circle with the numbers advantage, and this time also 52 having the complete center safe spot for themselves. But it is Regicide right now who are closing the distance towards the side of 52 esports. But beyond, he has an idea. There is a player crawling in the grass, and that is Destroyer for now. Let's see if they can find him and eliminate him, because right now R3 he's not moving any muscle. Destroyer is being so silent. He's just waiting for the next circle as Regicide Noki is closing the distance towards 52 esports, lobbing few good grenades. One of the player of 52 takes a hefty damage. He needs to heal up, and this is where 52 needs to back off because they are in a very close proximity and those grenades can be deadly. And Joker, he needs to
Ooh.
heal ASAP.
Wow, okay. Now this has turned into a bit more of a chaotic game than was anticipated, as of course the nades are still continuing on forth between R3G and of course 52 Esports. Now they are so very close in front of each other. Any third party can be brought on against them and can definitely capitalize. But can and will Bablu do that or not? Because Bablu is the one for which the momentum is looking very comfortable. But on our screens, registered again, they do not want to back out of the trench. Same is the case for 52 Esports. The only thing that's keeping them from the third party approach is definitely the zone, but also especially the smoke walls that they've of course dropped in right here, where none other player is able to spot out, and it's only the nade parade that is bringing in a lot of damage. But now it seems like the numbers have dwindled down in terms of those utilities. As Rezicide's Nocto not left with any smoke, all he can do is now try and lob that nade to get them to get 52 Esports to back out. But before he can do so, it seems like of course 52 Esports will be able to jump in along. They've already confirmed one elimination point. Second one has already been knocked down. Now Regicide are on the run on the background, but 52 Esports, they are being too over aggressive, and this is where their numbers can whittle down, as third parties they need to keep in mind are still remaining. And that's where Pablo also, was it Pablo?
Yep.
No, what a third party once again it has turned out to be. Osama, so close to Wolflers, absolutely no idea.
Oh, shoot, shoot! Is he
What?
even connected? Yes, he is connected, but why is he shooting? He doesn't want to give his position away because he had no cover. He realized that the minute he's going to shoot in the direction of Wolf, Pan will take him down. So Usma, very smart gameplay coming from his side, but right now he's having his heart in his mouth. But Pan finds a confirmation onto Jojo of 52 with that perfect grenade. But Osama, this time he's going to chime in, not just with his bullets, but grenade. Can he connect the perfect? And yes, he does.
Oh, what a 1000 IQ play that was from Osama, of course. Now, for Bablu teammates, what Wolf is going to be thinking is that that nade came in from 52 Esports. And of course, little do they know that it is Team Stars Osama who is the one who was able to spot him down. And now it seems like Osama is going to be jumping up on
Whoa.
lane and taking down the players of Bablu. It is a 1v3 situation between these two. And now that has converted into a 1v1 where Osama still has a lot of opportunity to be able to bring down this fight in his favor. And of course, 52 Esports have been given a little bit of a breather as Osama decided to finally act in the position that he was in. Now, Bablu Pan, he's so far out. Zebian is so far away. This game that could have been Bablu's, just being too over aggressive and not being careful of your surrounding, it seems to have definitely taken it away from them. But 52 Esports, they have the cover of those tree trunks, of that drop loot. Why are they being so passive, I wonder?
They are looking for the revival, but 52 esports, yes, they are being passive. Maybe they are looking for the winner chicken dinner because they need it. They are on the bottom, and finally 52 finds a confirmation onto Pan aware, but Zabian is going to retaliate as he is going to take Mojo down. But Joker, he has his crosshair set onto Zabian. Can he take Zabian down? But on the other side, Team Star Osama, well, the man with 1000 IQ is still there, and he's going to chime in and eliminate Joker over there. And 52 Esports has been
Come on.
eliminated. Now it's a 1v1 fight between Team Pablo and Team Star. And Osama, the way this guy is playing right now, well, he can do so. He can get this win.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. Because I don't believe Bablu Zibian has any idea, has an idea as to what angle the player is in, but he has absolutely no clue the position. And that is where Osama can definitely play his game absolutely to perfection. And I cannot believe what's happening in front of my eyes, because Team Star jumped in along with only a 3-man army. And now it seems like he has the opportunity to take this chicken dinner by himself. But it was the zone that gave him a little bit more of a damage as he was at the edge. And that, along with, of course, the combined bullets coming in from Zabian's Bablu's Zabian, apologies, has resulted in Team Bablu getting this beautiful chicken dinner. But what a close game Team Stars Usama played right there. 1000 IQ. I mean, he has to be given the MVP, even if he only had 1 or 2 eliminations. He has to be given the MVP.
Well, if it was in our hands, we would definitely give Osama
True.
the MVP title because he deserves it. The way the IQ gameplay came in, knocking down Wolf, not with the bullets, instead with a grenade, and then taking down
True.
Pan, clutching it out while lying out there in the open. It's not so easy in such a tough lobby when the best teams of the Pakistani region are out there. But Osama did so, and even the composure he kept that was also very impressive. But 52 esports, that was very
True.
unfortunate. The minute Bablu got taken down, 3+ of Team Bablu got taken down, it was entirely 52 esports gameplay.
Absolutely. And with that, of course, we'll talk more about what happened in this game and the upcoming games. But for now, it's time to go on that short little break. Stick around. We're going to be right back. Hello and welcome once again to right here PMPL Pakistan region for 2022. All thanks to, of course, Oppo for making this all happen and sponsoring it. Now for that, we now need to jump back into what happened in this game. This was the best game to start the day, of course, where, of course, on an angle we saw Bablu bring in a perfect chicken dinner for themselves, but Team Star Osama was so very close to clutching it. But let's have a look at the MVP, Shadow.
And I think it is not Osama, it is something from someone from Team Bablu or maybe I.
Oh yes,
Yes, it is Zabian with 6 elimination points and 1000 plus damage, 1092 damage. This guy is having, and he is responsible for getting that win also, because if I remember correctly, when Team Bablu was fighting outside the safe circle, every single team was outside the safe circle. It was Zabian, the first man to hold a good spot inside the very final circle, and that kind of paid off in the last 1v1 fight as well. But followed by Zabian is going to be Uzm and IQ. Well, this time I8, well, they are showing the signs of a comeback.
They definitely are, and it is looking very good at the start to, of course, the day right here, if we talk about this team. But along with that, of course, Team Bablu also starting off with a very good game right here will definitely boost their morale in terms of, again, I mean, talking about that math summary, highest elimination goes in favor, of course, Sibian, highest damage goes in favor of him, along with the highest assists. So this itself will clearly boost the morale of the players of Team Bablu and maybe even bring back their name on the map of Miramar.
Well, that is certainly possible, because Team Bablu, yes, they had a good foothold in Miramar in the previous season. This time it's all in Wrangle when it comes to Bablu, but they have worked on Senok also. They got a win in Senok also at one game. But this time in the match ranking, we have 52 esports on second spot with total of 18 points, and I8. Well, I can safely say I8 were experimenting few different things, because they were preparing themselves for the finals. Because after such a performance, getting 13 elimination points, well, I8, they're still in the form, they're ready for the finals, and 15 points already to them.
Absolutely, but along with that, let's see where exactly is this day going to be taking us. To start the day, this was a really good Erangel game, most certainly. But we know now, today being an Erangel day, things are definitely going to change in terms of how these teams have made the rotation. It worked out for them. But the second game that we will look at, when the second Erangel of the day will come, then we'll see what changes, if at all any, the teams are going to be making in terms of their rotation, in terms of the drop contestation itself or not. But for now, again, we are going to be, of course, talking about the highlights themselves, because again, there were so many chaotic fights that took place in this game. I mean, it was from the start itself, we were looking at from the 7-minute onward, 5-minute onwards, so many players taking on shots, so many teams going on down to just a one-man army, which again kept on happening till the final zone itself.
Well, certainly, so many chaotic fights were there on the eastern side, southern side, every single where. It was only western side. All the teams that were present on the western or the northern side were in the final circle. Team Star, Bablu also, Grounders also, they had a good position from the very start. That kind of paid off, but all the other teams that were coming from the eastern side, well, they had to pick up so many multiple fights. That is where I8 capitalized. Instead of
of course did not favor them, and it was Team Star's IQ, and this is where again he jumped out of the blues. Had he not jumped, he had to crumble like on this map. And with that, we do have, of course, the damage draft, where two teams definitely rating Manhattan right here, from Bablu to, of course, I8. What a perfect storyline being showcased from them. Of course, the points that were missing from I8, they definitely are going to be on the rise from this game on.
Well, most certainly, 13 elimination, rule placement, total 15 points in a single game. This is what I were looking for. They were not looking for the points. They were looking for an aggressive gameplay. That is something they delivered and delivered in style. Close to 2260 damage that have been dishing out. So yes, I ate good performance from their side, and H2E also. Yes, they have been dishing out good damage 52 and Reggie side, but they were not able to grab too many points. But Regicide were able to do so. They are sitting on the top with 164 points. Freestyle on second with 134 points, but 52. They have taken a jump of 3 points.
Well, let's see now. Again, Team Bablu also sitting on that 10th position. But moving ahead from this to the second page itself, let's see how big a leap are we going to be looking at on the second page. Because again, the points difference that we spoke about earlier at the start of the day itself isn't that much between the teams that we are going to be looking forward to, especially because of this being the final week 3, being the final week before we jump into the grand finals. Right now, what we're going to be crucially looking forward to is the top 12 who are going to be playing that extra map of Livik tomorrow, the final game that will be played. For now, the difference isn't that much, and that is something for which I8, Metershot X, I mean, all these teams, in fact, sitting from the 13th all the way down to 20th, they're going to have to really push in the bars today and today's games to perhaps be a part of the Livik map tomorrow.
Well, I8, if they deliver a few good games just like this, they can definitely be in the top 12. But talking about the other teams that are struggling, Faulty Devils, TMW, Esports, Metershot, 3X, let's see if they can do so. Jonas, still the sword is hanging, and so is for the other team sitting on the 12th position also. But talking about the schedule, Team Bablu got the win in the very first wrangle. Now it's the time for Miramar, where Group D will be sitting out. And Group D, we have Quantum Rage, Team Grounders, Regicide, and 3X Esports.
Exactly. Now in Group D, we are of course going to be missing the grounders from the map of Miramar, because on the map of Miramar the grounders had started to showcase a little bit of a better playstyle that was working for them as well. But again, like you said, this time around they're going to be of course moving out, and Group E will participate, for which, I mean, from that we know that freestyle Team 40, North Esports, as well as TFT are going to be the ones who will be participating. So definitely a good change of pace that will be showcased in the map. And of course, along with that, it is the time to bring up the prediction bar, and it is time to also answer what team are we going to be choosing for that prediction. From my side, Shadow, I'm going to be going with freestyle. Fingers crossed. Again, I have no idea. Team QWERTY could very well be the one who could do it, but which team are you going to be picking?
I want I8 because they missed it this time, so I think they are still looking for more points. They're looking kill point hungry, finish point hungry right now, so they
Right.
are going to definitely deliver a good performance in the map of Miramar as well.
Well, again, fingers crossed for both of our predictions, because week 3 has been a very chaotic one. Every single day has been a chaotic one, where predicting has become almost next to impossible. Every single time we jump in with a different day and a different game, things are going on a different tangent and a different toll itself. For it all, yeah, again, it's all up in the air. But for now, what we'll do is that hope for the best, in fact, hope for the best aggressive plays, and hope that the best teams are able to, of course, get the masala rolling, so to say, get closer and closer to the points that they are going to be then able to capitalize from and be a part of the Livik map. That's exactly what I was trying to look at right here. That when it comes to that Livik map itself, we have the Grounders sitting on the 12th position right now. They have other opportunities, and tomorrow will be a different day as well. But if they don't pick up the pace from the upcoming game that they will be playing, then things can go a little south for them to participate in that Livik map.
And Grounders got a win in the league also, so they would be looking for an
True.
opportunity this time to grab more bonus points for themselves, because the win is going to help their case in the finals if they qualify for the finals. So yes, they are certainly looking to be in the top 12, so they want to deliver a safe performance, a consistent performance in the whatever remaining games they have. I think 7 games they have remaining for themselves.
Right.
So yeah, they want to
Absolutely.
approach every single game with a strategic mindset and not engage in unnecessary, unwarranted fights.
Absolutely, that is going to be critical key, especially for today as well as tomorrow, and perhaps not for some teams like, for example, I8 or Metershot, for that matter, because they are the ones who need a lot more points. The only way they can accumulate those many points is if they start over-aggressing. And that is something that we saw right now coming in from the side of course, I8, which worked out flawlessly for them. Let's just, like you said, hope for the best and keep our fingers crossed that this upcoming game also ends up going in their favor itself, and perhaps allows them to slowly but surely rise up, because right now, with the way that they were able to bring up their numbers, they are in close contestation. And if that momentum continues on the map of Miramar also, then it is surely no doubt that maybe they can even rise up on that overall league leaderboard itself, all the way to the top. Because for now, it is Magnus who's sitting up on top, and there is a little bit of a point difference between, of course, I8 and Magnus, but perhaps that also can be rectified if I8 keep playing like this.
Certainly, they want to play in the map of Leavik, because that is what is going to help their case in the finals, because they already have accumulated, like you also mentioned, good points, the good bonus points for themselves. They don't want to miss the opportunity in week number 3. So this day and the coming day, I8 will definitely try and make sure they are in top 12, or maybe in better than top 12, top 10 position as well, if they can do so. So yes, I8, they will continue the streak of good performances in today's day, because Leavik is crucial for every single team, because finals, in the finals, at the line we have not just the finals prize money, it's the SA championship also, because the top 6 teams will qualify for the SA championship, so you need those points to be in top 6.
Absolutely, and of course, it also gives you a boost. It gives you a really good boost as you prepare for the grand finals. And then you've got a team who is not going to be participating in the Livik map, but if they end up being in the grand finals, the other teams that they're going to be competing against, they're going to have to do an extra effort to overcome the already awarded points that the other teams who participated in the Livik map will be walking in with. So yes, it is a little bit of a tricky play, but also at the same point of time, it builds up an opportunity for the teams that are underperforming to always be on the lookout to convert every single last game in their benefit, because they have an opportunity to make that comeback. Week 3 has been a clear eye-opener that this format, the new format, is definitely working. It is definitely changing the way the players, the teams are actually strategizing the entirety of the league itself, which is definitely a good thing. And of course, for now, we're only just waiting for the Miramar map to take flight, to of course let us know as to where exactly the flight path is going to be. Now we know that I8 is going to be playing. That means on Los Leones, that team is always going to go there. There is no two ways about it. But alongside that, can we anticipate another team to maybe, because I really want to be able to see if at all there would be another team that would, if not close to them, but definitely try and push them a little lower in terms of the morale boost that they were able to get from this chicken dinner.
Well, certainly, even this time, like you said, Team Pablo can also go for the spin, because already the momentum has been set for Team Pablo. They got a big win, and Miramar has always been their strong point. This is a very known territory, very known geography for the players of Team Pablo over there. So yes, Team Pablo will be looking for another good performance, but maybe Magnus also, because in Magnus drop location in Miramar, it's very crucial. They are somewhere in the center position. Rotations are not such a big problem for Magnus Esports when it comes to even Erangel also. So maybe last time Magnus in Erangel, they had a bad performance. This time they will be looking for a redemption. Might be not the correct word, because they're already on the top spot. Few good points.
Got their positions, and that in turn can of course invite a lot of third party against them as well, as we just saw that Team Star right in front have exactly the knowledge where Triple Esports is. Same as the case for 52 Esports as well, as I'm sure 52 Esports must have heard these shots that were taken from Triple Esports. But let's see if it all trade will be placed right here in this fight or not. On the other front, we do have TUF's Edgar trying to bring in a nade against, of course, the rotating team of Team Bablu. Now, Team Bablu, we saw earlier, had made a rotation from the southwestern side of the map. Right now, they're out in the open, of course, and very close in proximity against the players of TUF, where TUF have themselves a little scattered. So that flank could very well work out for TUF, or not as well, because the approach that Team Bablu have made towards the top right hand side of the map, we can see, is a perfect circle that they're trying to draw against the positioning of Team TUF. But for now, no trade has taken place for Bablu in this fight at least. But the information right there being given away, and TUF making that rotation, trying to get away from the open area that they were in, has of course been awarded with a little bit of a bullet spray coming in from Zebian, none other, from Team Bablu.
Well, certainly, Bablu, they were trying to converge the players of TUF from all the three directions, but the moment the circle has taken a shift, now they are prioritizing the circle and the position inside it. But right now, other teams that can go for a collision are going to be Magnus player because they are coming from the eastern side, and Meteor Shot Sky, they are on the periphery. Perfect position to gatekeep Magnus or dish out a lot of damage, but a team that is still keeping themselves away from all the commotion in the fight and having a hard compound for themselves is going to be I8 Esports. All the four players are sticking together. The basics have been connected from the side of I8 Esports, and that is where Rangal also they managed to get good defeat point for themselves, and I think this time also they will be looking to do so because up until now they're just focusing on the position. They're just focusing on the position, playing by the circle. But from backlines, FS is also trying to come in. But TUF Joker sir, well, he's having a hard time to find a safe spot or a safe compound for himself and his team as they're trying to rotate from the close proximity to Koti.
Absolutely. And talking about T-Quality, they have a perfect compound and a two-man split for which they are ready. They are definitely ready for if TUF or any other team tries to approach their compound, and it seems like it is in positioning of I8. Now I8 easily able to dodge as they are going to be able to bring down Virus and take away that point as well. So one defeat point to start the game for I8. Looking very comfortable in Hacienda for now as I8 have the entire warehouse to themselves. And sadly for now, again, when it comes down to the circle itself, the circle is going to be making a shift in another 50 seconds, and that is where the trouble for I8 could start brewing because they are towards Hacienda, which is towards the southern side. But before they move out, of course, they need to complete this fight, and of course, it is FS that there's going to be crosshairs in, and Vasi is going to be able to bring in that spray and shot, and just like that, where I8 thought that they've already taken down TUF's Virus, now the compound is safe. It is going to be Freestyle's Wasi who makes his presence felt and brings down Blade. For now, of course, sadly, though, trade has not, the point has not been converted for FS. Blade from that smoke wall definitely will be able to fall back, and that in turn will be able to get all the four players of I8 back up again. Now FS one by one approach is the worst thing that you can do, and that's exactly what they're doing once again, which we've seen from them earlier. And that lackluster approach is what results in the players of FS going down a little too early. Now that aggression, we need to see if this is going to be able to capitalize for them or not. Of course, one of their players was left, Malik, and now it is all boiling down to the final player from I8 to be able to push on. No, two players from the side of I8. IQ was from the outside pushing into the compound, and Zarbaf. It is a 1v1 situation between these two teams, and the nade against, of course, Zarbaf could be the end that, of course, FS did not anticipate. Therefore, they are just preparing for the onslaught that 52 Esports is bringing towards them. And on the back, we did just see Team Bablu seem to have also tried to make an approach, an entrance in towards this zone as well as this compound.
Well, most certainly Team Pablo having the numbers advantage as well, and TUF also with two men being so very TUF. They need to move a few meters inside the circle right now and leave the safety of the hard compound which they are having. And Team Bablu, well, their crosshairs are still onto Joker Sir as Edgar again gets taken down. The smoke, will it help Joker Sir's case? Let's find out. And the answer is no. From the height advantage, Team Bablu will put an end to Joker Sir and TOF also at 6th position. Now Bablu looking good. Good defeat points in their favor, but H2000 also tries to pep a few bullets in the side of Bablu.
Well, again, Team Bablu, they seem to be getting on to their crown of course, the kings of Miramar, and that is exactly what they seem to be wanting to showcase to this entire lobby as they slowly but surely approach with momentum, with 7 elimination points to their names already confirmed. From one angle, of course, they need to be careful of, that's going to be H2E, because